Right, so the chimpanzee has DNA that's 98.5% similar to humans, including possession of the PAX3 gene. So we have learned from yesterday's discussion that PAX3 gene is a regulatory gene that code for a transcription factor that affect the gene expression, okay? So investigations show that chimpanzees express higher levels of the PAX3 gene during embryonic development than humans. So over here, you can see that, the basic knowledge for this topic is that every cell in our body has the same genetic makeup because all of them are produced by mitotic division starting from a zygote. So they're all genetically identical. But how come even though they're genetically identical, different area of the body will grow to different organs, right? And then different structure, cell function, all different. It's because different genes in different cells are switched on at different time. So this is a basic knowledge that you learn. Applying to here, they say that, okay, now the chimpanzee has got a 98.5% of the DNA similar to humans. So we expect that they are very similar to us, right? 98.5%, but how come they look so different? That means you apply your knowledge and you say that they can look different because different genes, okay, in different cells are switched on in different time and also in different sequence. Different sequence means gene A switch on first, followed by gene B, followed by gene C, and so on, right? Okay, so using this basic understanding, then you can go and answer the question. And you also have learned that this PAX3 gene yesterday, okay, PAX3 gene, PAX3 gene code for PAX3 protein, which is a transcription factor. So transcription factor is used to switch on the gene. So they are used to switch on the genes, okay? So they control gene expression at different time in different cell. So that's the basic knowledge. So let's look at the question here. Keyword suggests how knowledge of the PAX3 gene, that means you know that it is a regulatory gene. Regulatory gene that code for transcription factor, which is actually the protein that is needed. Remember yesterday you learned this protein bind to enhancer in the promoter to help the RNA polymerase to locate and bind to the Tata box of the promoter. Okay, this one already, if you go back and revise and play the video. So suggest how knowledge of PAX3 gene helps scientists to explain how humans and chimpanzees are very different in facial structure, even though they have very similar DNA. So you have to talk about the switching on of the genes, okay? So this is question B part 1. So PAX3, this is the protein, okay? It controls or switch on, okay, the expression of many genes. Right, we're talking about genes that are involved in the genes involved in formation of the features that determine the distance between the eyes. Okay, so PAX3 protein controls the expression of many genes. So different genes, okay, are switched on at different time, right? Okay, for different at different time for different time period. So switch on at different time for different time period means how long is being switched on. Therefore, that will lead to different pattern formed. Okay, different pattern form on the face. So different genes are switched on at different time for different time period. So different structures are formed on the face. Okay, on the face. The face features of the chimpanzee, you can see that the distance between the eyes here, they are actually closer, and the nose here is flatter, and this part here actually is jutting out. So it's, and in this part here, a lot of hairs growing at the side here, so which is very different from human. So you can actually talk about this in your answer. Okay, coming back to here. So you said different genes are being switched on at different time, right? So therefore you have to talk about, okay, higher PAX3 protein makes chimpanzees' eyes closer, okay, smaller face width, okay. So this is for example, okay, just nice to get the 3 marks. Altogether, there are actually 4 marking points. I've given the 3 marking points that most of you will be able to get. So when you want to derive to the answer, right, let's say you are already written 2 points, then you want to get the 3rd mark, then you think of anything that is related to your answers that you can still write. Like in this case here, okay, so I've talked about different genes are switched on at different time for different time period. For example, what are the genes or what are the features that can cause the difference? So you talk about what features, because of that, it becomes different.